Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm going to be talking to you today about the steps that I took to start a business, what I feel are the steps you need to take to make a successful business. And some of it may vary because I think some of the steps you need to do in this present day. I started my business ages back, I think 2007. I started my recruitment company, and then I started my current business about 4 years ago, KB Consultancy, which is a platform that supports businesses as a one-stop shop. So we do everything from website, app, digital design to digital management, sales, staffing and recruiting, leadership, motivation, finance, accounting. The list goes on. Now, what I feel are the important steps to making a business successful. I'd say number one is to understand that what you're good at and what you actually want to deliver, the product you want to sell or the service you want to provide, that's your skill. That's a role. Running a business is a totally different kettle of fish. And what you have to become is multifaceted. You need to become a multi-skilled person. You have to understand that you've got to be able to spin a lot of plates. Yeah, if you imagine the stick with the plate on the top and you're spinning the stick, you got to keep a lot of them turning, because you're going to need to run the finance, the admin, the marketing, the sales, the management, the customer service, dealing with complaints. It is a lot. And you've also got to be that person that's looking for new opportunities. So I think a lot of people struggle when starting a business because they think, oh, I'm a recruiter or I'm great at designing t-shirts and that's it. No, you have to understand the business behind the e-commerce of selling or retail. What do businesses use? What are the blueprint? What are the tricks of the trade, if you like? Making the clothes or the product is one thing. Selling them is a totally different kettle of fish. I think the other thing you need to take into consideration, you really need to think about sales. I think for me, sales is my key skill, I would say. In my business in KB Consultancy, I manage the sales aspect. I have other people that do marketing, finance, web, you name it. Sales for me is the most important because one, not only is it a skill that can help you in your day-to-day life, no matter how great your product or service is, bottom line, it comes down to selling. And I think if you're starting a business and you're shy about selling, you're losing out. So the second thing I think you really need to think about is how to sell. And, if you go to our e-learning platform, elearning.kbconsultancy.uk, you can actually watch my class or my course on how to sell, which covers some of the important things. And I'm going to do another video that touches on the points. I won't go into as much detail, but I'll give you the points. But you've got to know how to sell. You've got to be able to pick up a phone and call somebody, follow on. And sometimes sales isn't just in selling a product or service, it's keeping a customer. The biggest thing, the third thing I would say that is really important in business is a lot of people think about gaining a new customer and selling to a new customer, but they don't think about keeping a customer. Similarly to money, I think it's more important the ones you keep than the new ones. So for example, for me, it's more important the money I keep than the new money that I bring in. You can bring in new money all day long, but if you're not keeping a lot of it, then what are you doing? Yeah. Similarly to new customers, you can get new customers all day long, but if you're not keeping them, that's the hard part, is winning the customer over. Trust me, trust my product or service, buy from me, give me your email, give me your bank details, give me your address. Once you've done all of that hard work, sell to them again. That's an easier route way than constantly going for the new customer. So the fourth thing I would say is when you create your business, think of a number. How many customers do I need? And that's going to come from a business plan and cash flow forecast. Why? Because from that, you're going to discover how much money do I need to run my business and pay me my money. So let's say you figure out that you need a turnover, a cash flow, monthly cash flow of £3,000 needs to come in. We call that revenue into your business. 1,500, half of that is to pay yourself. The other 1,000 is to go back into the business. £500 is disposable. You can use on other things, yeah? If that is enough money for you, you now need to think, how many customers can I get that is going to raise £3,000? So maybe each customer paying me £300. If I get 10 of those, that's my £3,000. So once you have that, I think it helps you understand when you've reached your level. It also gives you a goal and a target to work towards, because without that, you're running blind. You need to visualize it. The last thing that I would say, there's so many points, but these are what I think are some key points to really think about that I think has made my business different from the rest, you know. And this possibly could be one of the most important points. I'm not a big fan of staff because I think as a business owner, staff are a liability. And if you don't know the difference between liabilities and assets, you can Google it or read Rich Dad Poor Dad. People can be as well. You can leverage from business, from people, and they can be an asset. But when they're not being an asset, then they become a liability. So for example, staff go sick or maternity leave, etc., etc. Supporting customers or staff rather through that, and I mix them up because to me they are the same thing, and a lot of business owners mix that up. Your staff are your customers and your customers are your customers. Yeah, you need them to support as importantly as you need customers. You need your staff, but there are things they can go through that they can become costly where they're not earning your business any money and you need to support them. So I'm more of a fan of contracting. Needless to say, that doesn't devoid from the fact of this very important point. Find experts, people who are better at what you are in that specific department in a business. So you know a business has admin for infrastructure, finance for the money that comes in that sustains the business and makes it profitable. Then you've got staffing and recruiting, and you've got sales and marketing. Once you've got those areas covered, you've got a business. But it's self-employed until you find somebody who can go into each of those departments and manage it. And the person that you put into each of those departments should be better than you. They need to be experts. So the key thing, and something that I learned from Jack Ma, he said, find super intelligent people, because finding people that are not intelligent is easy. Find super intelligent people who are smarter than you. And this is the key thing. Get them to work together. Finding smart people, not hard. Getting them to work as a unit towards a common goal, very, very difficult. And for me, you're only as good as your team. If you don't have a team, you don't have a business. You're self-employed. Once you have a team, they need to be effective and push what it is that your company ethos, which is one of the early things you need to be thinking about when you're creating a business. What is the brand? What is the theme? Are we a helper? Are we corporate? Are we calm? Are we from the streets? You know, are we prestige or are we a social sort of vibe? You've got to figure out, and your staff have to reciprocate that mindset. So I think if you apply these initial things or you think about them before you get going, this will really get you going. And you know what? I'm going to give you a little benefit here. Don't rush to register your business. If you start your business in January, HMRC are not going to expect you to start filing accounts until October. That gives you 9 to 10 months of being able to run a business and seeing if it's profitable before you actually decide to register it and make yourself liable to tax and registration and a lot of administrative work. Okay, so don't rush, get it out there, make that money, know that it works, master your sales and your marketing. Make sure you find experts in each department that can deliver better than you would in those departments. And also, you know, make sure that your business is something that you're passionate about. Make sure it's something you enjoy doing, because the commitments you have to make early on are extremely tough. You know, you got to go through the thick and thin. Profitability, profitable income, really, you're talking 3 years into it. You're not making a lot of money. Unless you're spending money you shouldn't be spending. You know, 30% of what you earn needs to be put aside for tax. Yeah, your corporation tax, your national insurance, your liabilities, you know, it's a tough game. And I think if you apply these things, you'll do really well. And you can always go to a company like mine, KB Consultancy. We have those experts who can support you until you find your own. So if you want to know more, just go to kbconsultancy.uk and all of the information's there. Feel free to email me at info@kbconsultancy.uk. All right, have a good day, good week, good month, good year. Just because of pandemic, it's not over. You can actually make a lot of money now, make an online platform. If you want to know more about that, go to my YouTube or iTunes. I've got podcasts there. Boom.